What's happening? Welcome to On The One. I'm your host, Cory Wong. Today we're going to take a look at my new tune, The Grid Generation, featuring Louis Cole. We're going to dissect the recording and production and mix of this tune. We're going to dive into everything that I got here. If you're not familiar with the song, here's a little clip. This is a tune that was written right here in this room in Minneapolis, in my little studio here. It started as a demo that Kevin Gastonguay, my keyboard player, sent me because I said, look, live show, I want to come up with a new opener for the show. Let's write some stuff. Let's send some ideas back and forth. He sent me a little idea. It had a bunch of the ideas that we ended up with on here, but I started tweaking stuff, changing some things. He had some more keyboard-centric stuff, go figure, and I made it more of a guitar tune, go figure. We're sitting around writing here with my friend Alex Bone. We made the demo here on this little keyboard. What is this thing again? The M Audio, M49 or something? I don't know. It's a keyboard that I've had for a lot of years, and I've written a lot of stuff on this keyboard. Started writing, messing around with things, came up with a demo, and as I was making the demo, I realized all I'm trying to do is program drums to sound like Louis Cole. I'm trying to like do the Louis Cole thing on my keyboard here. You know, just like every 16th note accounted for. And I texted Louis, I said, hey, I have this song I'm working on. Would you be down to play on it? Could I feature you? Sent him the demo and he said, absolutely, let's go. I'll show you in a minute what those demo drums are, because it's actually kind of funny. It's almost me. In a way, it's kind of like me parodying Louis Cole on my keyboard drums, but it's kind of dope. Anyways, here's what we have for this song. We've got Louis Cole's drums, which he recorded remotely. He sent me 4 microphones, and I'll show you how I kind of mixed those and blended those. I've got bass that was sent to me from Seth Tackaberry, recorded remotely. I've got keyboards from Kevin Gastonguay. I have my guitar solo is here. Oh, and some extra takes. Handful of rhythm guitars, power chord guitars, and a bunch of horn parts arranged by Michael Nelson, played by Michael Nelson, Kenni Holmen, and Webb. So you can see Louis sent me this main mic. He sent me a kick drum mic, overhead, snare. I duplicated some of the tracks just to give them an effect, but this is basically what he sent me. What I did is I took this main microphone, I added this devil lock thing to it to really smash it. I added a transient designer, basically just to take some of the sustain away. Louis very much likes the sustain in his drums and doesn't put anything in his kick drum, which surprised me, but that's kind of part of his sound. This I wanted to tighten up a little bit. I did a similar thing with the kick. The snare drum, I also duplicated it, added a gate, and just put it in a space. So that way, instead of the snare just sounding like this, it's got that sort of thing. So each of those mics on their own, this is the main mic. This is what it sounds like. Kick drum mic. Snare mic. Overhead. And all together it just sounds like this. I put a little Wolf compressor on the drum bus. I like to add this punch and crunch thing. It just adds a little bit of drive. It adds a little punch and a little bit of crunch. I took it way down. Normally it's pretty high up, but this one's a subtle amount of it. And then you can see also I added some other stuff just for effects. So during the solo, I wanted to take the main mic and add this really wide feel. So I put the micro shift on it. It's a cool plugin. Then I added this phaser thing. So I put the Archetype Cory Wong plug-in on it, gave it a little bit of sauce there, and then added some phaser via delay. Just adds an extra cool element to it, so during the solo, it feels like it builds and goes into something. You can hear it like this. Without those things in there, this is what it feels like. Still dope, but I just wanted to add an extra thing. And at the halfway point of the solo, I wanted to feel like it took a little bit of stair step. So the phaser mic really is just kind of this gradual thing. And then the wide mic comes in as an actual stair step. So sometimes dynamically when I'm thinking about things in a production, is it gradually going somewhere or is it stair stepping to go to the next place? And in this case, I kind of simulated both. If we take a look at the bass part, Seth Tackaberry coming in with some bass chords. Check this. This is... That's pretty tight. EQ. That's a messy EQ though. I don't know what's going on there. It's a lot of dots. Put the lots of attack on it. I know Jack Stratton puts this on Darts bass a lot of times with Wolf stuff. I've seen him do it. I added a little bit of it here. That's sort of, it almost, in a certain way you can do it with a DBX 160, but on the Wolf comp, it's just a little faster to get there for me. A little bit of the decapitator. Without it. Subtle. Keyboard parts. This is pretty simple. Piano part, Juno pad. We had a DX7 that I did end up using in a couple spots. Moog. How do you say it? Put it in the comments below. I've heard it both ways. I actually went to the factory and heard two cats at the factory say it both ways.
And how you would pronounce it, Moog.
Made me even more confused. The one thing I actually wanted out of the factory tour was to know how to say the company name. And I think it's Moog.
I just happen to like the sound of Moog better than Moog.
OB6 for a little action. Piano intro. Well, looks like whatever was here got cut. Let's make that hide and inactive. That guy's gone, whoever he was. Here's what we got. That's dope. So we added that Moog because the horns, they sounded so good that they sounded MIDI. I'll just show you now. This beginning, Webb sounds so clean. This part. I had to add a decapitator and all this other stuff to Jay. He sounded so pure. His trumpet tone was so pure and so clean. It just sounded MIDI in the mix. So we added this Moog, whatever. I'm going to just call it Moog for now. Correct me if I'm wrong. To give it a little bit of a thing, to make it sound not MIDI. But I was like mad. I was like, I started with MIDI, and I get the real cat playing, and it sounds more MIDI than it did at the demo. Crazy. But that's a testament to a good trumpet player. So I added some weird effects to him. DX7, what's going on? You can hear a little bit of that wow flutter, little pitch shift in the Wolf comp. Yeah, that sort of thing happening. Again, later in the tune, we got... During the drum solo, a little bit of... Had Kevin record his real Juno, not the MIDI version. I mean, it's hard for me to give this cat a hard time because he's been through a lot with me. But the thing in the computer doesn't sound as good as the real one. Kev's got the real Juno. Give me the real deal, baby. All right, guitar tones. This is one that's been really fun to play live. I messed around with a bunch of different things to get this guitar thing happening on the record, and eventually just fought with myself so much that I used a few different tones. And now that I'm playing it live, I actually like the way that I do it now more. Whatever, doesn't matter. This is what ended up on the album, and I do really like the way it sounds. So basically I started with the single note thing. I'll go through each of these just because I'm a guitar player and I assume there's some guitar nerds out there. Transient master, just take off a little bit of the sustain just to give it a thing. Archetype Wong is on there. Little Pro Q taking off some of the low end. Little bit of, nope, that looks like a lot. That's the lots of attack thing again. No, I didn't edit it. I heard it. I know you did. I just heard it. Sue me. I didn't need to edit. I don't want to edit. Okay, yeah, here's what happened. I did the two guys left and right, kind of a little more in the thing, and then down the middle, I just went... I went full stroke. Then I added the chords here, just this guy. Pre-chorus thing. These guys stay with the single note line, and then this guy here goes, you can hear it up. In the context, it's this. And then I just had these low boys hitting some power chords down here. Single notes even, sorry. Fun. Trick that a lot of people use. Low, powerful voicing. In this case, just one note is all it needed. It just needed that sort of big, thick energy. Hard pan left and right. I'm good. Let's get into this guitar solo here. honestly, I think probably one of my best guitar solos I've ever recorded. I felt so good about this one when I was done. I literally leapt out of this chair and said, yes, why weren't you here? Why weren't you here? Why weren't you here? Why wasn't this thing rolling? In a day and age where all these cameras are here, I get one of my best solos without the camera rolling. But that's how it works sometimes. You just take it when you got it. Here it is. You see it. That piece of audio right there. I feel great about it. What do we see though? Extra takes. 0.04, that means there was 5 takes. That's fine. That feels like a reasonable amount of takes to get a good guitar solo. Did you watch the Asia doc? They did days and days and days of recording guitar solos for Peg. Not me. I guess I got 5 takes in here. Do we want to listen to them? Carter, do we need to listen to these? Let's see what this one is. Let's just see what this one probably sucks. I can see. I didn't even lead in. I didn't do a lead into the solo. There's some empty space here. What's going on there? I'm visually critiquing the solo right now. I haven't even heard it yet. This could be brilliant. Probably not, because I decided not to use it. All right, I'll listen to some of it. Whatever. Well, I can hear what happened. I started to get the idea. I got the shape at the end. It was like, oh, I can. My fingers probably just didn't know where to go. I was figuring some out. I think in the middle I was trying to get cute with the idea of the da 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 da, and it didn't work out. Do another take, and I got the solo. But I could tell listening to this one, oh, this was where I was really starting to formulate the ideas for what ended up being the final solo. So I'm glad I did another take. You know what? Let's hide this one. We don't need this anymore. We don't ever need to listen to that again. What else do we got in the tune? We got horns. We got the horn section. Michael Nelson coming in correct. Coming in correct. All these lines were on the demo. Pretty much all of them, as far as the verse stuff. Some of it was Kevin's initial ideas, and then I added stuff, and Alex and I did some stuff together. But I sent it to Michael and said, hey, let's go more of the unison octave sort of approach on this one. When it really needs to split and do the proper horn section stuff, let's do that. He sent me some stuff, and then I actually had him add the flute on the top just to give it a different feel, a different vibe. Especially when I knew Lewis was going to be on this, because I've heard Lewis do that stuff in some of his arrangements. It gets really fun in the second verse. Here, let's listen to verse 2. A trombone motion? Are you kidding me? Check that. Oh, that's sick. This bass trombone, though, Michael told me, he's like, yo, I haven't played bass trombone in a long time. This is way too low. Help tune me. I put a little tuning on him. Sue me. Sue him. That's fine. Obviously not a lot of tuning, but a little bit. It's all right. Check this, though. J. Webb at the end. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me, J. Webb? Excuse me? What was that high note? Excuse me? What was that high note? I gotta hear that again. All right, where's J Webb down here? High 1, trumpet B, trumpet 2B. This has gotta be it. Let's listen to this. It's gotta be J. That's insane. That's clean, baby. That's clean, but not perfect. Not perfect in the way that it shouldn't be perfect. I didn't tune that. That's J Webb. That's so sick. That's a fun ending. I just told Lewis to go ham on it, you know? That's sick. What's Lewis doing here at the end? This gets fun. That's fun. You want to hear? Here, let me show you these demo drums. Here's what I sent Lewis. Let me mute him so you can get an idea of how I was thinking about it. It's that Native Instruments kit. Yo, see, that's just like my interpretation of how Lewis would play a fiddle. Am I wrong? Did he not like play that exact same thing here? Hold on, is that what he did here? I mean, that's a pretty good impression. That's the real Lewis. Here's my joint. I like how in his thing, he just added some extra stuff to make it not feel so much like a loop. Here's what I was doing in the verse. You can hear, I gave him the blueprint of what I was looking for. He can interpret as he wants, but the information that I gave him was the energy arc, the drive, when things are tight, when they open up, when I was hearing little interjections of other stuff, and he interpreted it in his own way and added his own voice that only he can. And honestly, Louis Cole is a singular voice on the instrument of the drums and music in general of our generation. I think he's a one-of-a-kind musician and just a really special artist in the world. And it was so fun to have him on this, and also just to kind of have as a muse of something that I could look for to add to this song. And I knew that having him on this would help give that energy and get the thing across. And now when we play it live, you know, I have Pitar playing in my band, who's also an incredible drummer. And Pitar was like, do you want me to do the Lewis thing? Do you want me to do this? It's like, no, do the Pitar thing. I think a lot of times when you have a special guest that's this potent of a voice, or when you have something like there's a song that I have called Massive that Joe Satriani featured on, when I play that guitar thing, I don't want to sound like Joe. I want to just create the same energy that Joe did in my voice. And that's what I'm looking for from Pitar when we play this song live is give me the same energy, give me the same sort of arc, but do it in your voice. And I think that's an important thing to distinguish as a band leader when you have different people stepping in, is to understand when to do something just like the record or just like the thing that it is, but even more so, find the right energy and find a way for the people in your band, if they are very good, like all the cats in my band. They're all incredible aces on their instrument. How can I encourage them to find the same energy, but doing it in a way that they would do it? So now as we're playing this song live, it sort of morphs into its own different thing. And we've even added stuff to it and changed certain things just to make it work for the live setting. And it's been really fun. This song has been awesome to put together, from being in this room, writing and sending emails back and forth with Kevin and Alex, sending emails to Lewis to have him record it. And I mean, everything on this song was recorded remotely. Lewis did his drums in LA. Seth did his bass in London. Kevin did his keyboards in Minneapolis, literally 4 miles down the road. I did all the guitars here. And Michael Nelson did the horns here in Minneapolis as well, just in his space. It's very much a modern production, a modern thing. I mixed it here in this room. This isn't the final mix because I had somebody else master it, so you're hearing some of my master bus stuff on it. Will Quinnell is an incredible mastering engineer. I send all of my stuff to him, and he takes care of the mastering. So, hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for hanging out. If you aren't familiar with this tune, go check it out on Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you listen to music. Come see us play it on tour. We'll see you next time. Peace!